What is up, everybody? Keith, aka Gear Guy 231. It is Tuesday, February 16th, but we are breaking down Wednesday, the 17th, two-game UCL slate. Look, about 30 minutes ago, when I was really trying to hammer down the research to finish this this video up, I thought this was one of the worst slates I've ever looked at. It still might not be the greatest slate, but I do think that it's very playable. I think that there's probably going to be one key decision point that's going to decide a lot. And I think that, once you pick on that, the rest kind of will flow. So looking forward to getting into it. Quick reminder, we are so close to 2,000 subscribers. If you listen to our content, you're going to keep hearing me say this until we get there. So help us get to 2,000. Hit that subscribe button bottom right. It's not even been a year. We're at 1,960. Just would love nothing more to see that 2,000. So help us get there. Tell your friends. Just so much great content on this channel. Could not be happier with our entire team and more proud to be a part of it. So give us a subscribe. And then if you already are subscribed, comment. It all helps more than you know and helps us continue to bring you great free content. All right, infomercial over. Odds are ready to come up. And let's talk about this two-game slate. So we've got, obviously it's Champions League, so we don't have to worry about the staggered start times. Both are at 3 Eastern. We have Juventus going to Porto. Juventus only a plus 109 slight favorite, a whopping 2.25 total. Then you have Sevilla hosting the absolutely struggling Dortmund, who thought that sacking their manager, a good manager that, had taken them to some pretty nice heights, and appointed I believe I read it right. It was the players manager, who then promptly just showed that he's not a tactical mind at all. But they are plus 217 going to Sevilla, who really for about a year and a half now have been one of the best defensive teams in all Europe. So that is a 2.5 total. So we have no totals over 3, which I think is especially important to notice. Because today, you had Barcelona, PSG was above 3. We saw Mbappe got that on his own. Kudos to you all if you had it. I think I did a pretty decent job of mentioning it yesterday that, I thought his speed could give Barcelona trouble. Then I promptly go and don't play him. So that was unfortunate. Still made out ahead in cash games, not so much in GPP. Quick little aside. Congrats to A Hooper, Alex Hooper. If you watch the other, he does an awesome show on here, the sort of DFS recap. I'm sorry, now it's called Tilt City. Alex, apologies, man. I screwed up the brand. Tilt City, where he and Tom just recap the previous weekend's EPL. It's a really good watch. Some good nuggets in there, but he's been accumulating tickets, and I think he took down 7th and 8th in the big GPP. For him, took home some money to get him some more Top Shot packs. So just a quick congrats, man. So happy for you. Had some other subscribers hit it big too with the Mbappe play. All right, back to the slate. So here would be the core I'm going to give you. And obviously everything's going to be lineup dependent. But let me just go over why these 3, I think, are the first 3 in your lineups, and you don't really even think about it. Cristiano Ronaldo. All right, that's enough on Ronaldo. It's Ronaldo. Salary is not that in play here, okay? You are going to – there's very few places to spend up after these 3. Unless, you're huge on Dortmund. Then, maybe you don't play Papu Gomez, and maybe you go to Haaland or you go to Sancho. But you're going to have the salary. Ronaldo, honestly, they probably could have priced him at 12,000. He's still going to be 95% owned in cash. If you think that Porto pitches a shutout here, you fade Ronaldo, play the goalie. Hell, you could play the goalie, Marcus Steen, I think it is, and still play Ronaldo. Ronaldo still might get a 10. You get 4 points for every time Ronaldo shoots on goal. You get the save for 2, and then Ronaldo shot on goal for 2. But I think he's going to be exceedingly owned. Juve is still technically the biggest favorite in the slate. Ronaldo gets there from shot fours, fouls drawn, things like that. So, at 10-3, I think, filling a forward spot too, I think you just play him. Chiesa, look, there's no Cuadrado. When Chiesa's on without Cuadrado, he's been taking most of the set pieces. He's also, back to his Fiorentina. I can't say it. Fiorentina. Wow. I'm sure I'm going to get comments put it down. That's fine. I just can't talk tonight. But always been an active player. One of the better young players in Italy. Huge signing the offseason for Juve. Gets played out wide. Very, very willing shooter, crosser, everything you want. So, those 2 are in. If you don't see Chiesa, Second forward could get tough. I think a lot of people will gravitate towards Jadon Sancho at that point. Taking a majority of set pieces for Dortmund. But here's the deal with Dortmund. Like, you've been watching, back to my Bundesliga days, like Dortmund floor-wise suck. Like this past weekend, as a favorite, home favorite versus Hoffenheim, who's a decent team. Jadon Sancho scores a goal. He did not hit 15 DK. He had one cross, one foul drawn, one shot. Played 90 minutes, had a monopoly of set pieces. Like, that's insane. I'm not saying that that's going to happen all the time, but just giving you perspective that the floor that you're paying $9K for Jadon Sancho just is not great. He's a phenomenal player, but the system sucks. Dortmund's style for DFS sucks. And Sevilla's good. Sevilla's a very good team. They're going to qualify for the Champions League from being a top 4 in La Liga. And hell, like if Atletico wasn't so good, Sevilla had a legit chance of winning it for a while. So, sorry, Dortmund rant. I hate Dortmund. So that, you know what that means, right? It's going to be like 4-2 or 4-0 Dortmund. Sancho, 2 goals and an assist. Haaland a goal, and then of course Guerrero a goal, because that guy, if I don't give him love, he's just gonna doo-doo all over me. But yeah, so that's how that game's gonna play out. Somebody please make sure you make that lineup. I will not. And then just flash when I don't know what the GPP is, 20K. Just go. Thanks, Gator Guy, for jinxing this, for making this lineup happen by your Dortmund hate. Anyhow, where was I? So Ronaldo and Chiesa. If you don't have Chiesa, I think 4 gets tough. Sancho and Haaland, yeah, like, their prices make them in play. It's fine. I'll tell you, from a GPP perspective, I really like Enesiri, or Enesiri, however you say it. It's been awesome. Let me just pull this up real quick. In La Liga has been phenomenal. This is like grade 1 YouTube videoing. I don't even have this pulled up. Pulling up SofaScore. So let's. Actually, I guess it's not been as good lately, but he went on a run in January where he had 7 goals in the span of 4 games, 2 hat tricks. It was versus Cadiz and Real Sociedad, but Real Sociedad is a decent team. Dortmund's been leaky, so I think Enesiri, from a GPP perspective, I don't think he's good in cash, but for a GPP perspective, I think he's really interesting. Won't go that highly owned either, because I think, especially when you look at the price pivot, especially if Chiesa's in, it's going to be 50% plus owned, and Nestor maybe comes in like 15%. So that's interesting. I'd love Munir. Munir would be cash viable if in, and you don't see Chiesa. I still prefer Chiesa over him, but Munir always been a favorite of mine. Morata maybe picks up some steam. He's been good in Champions League, plays like a second striker. Ocampos is out, so I think Suso would be the guy that you go down to. Look, Suso's been taking some set pieces. Sevilla set pieces, I should just tell you, are just a mess. You've got Julian Jordan take some every once in a while. If you see Oliver Torres, he'll take like 5 corners but cross 1. Papu Gomez is going to be the big player that we want to see. Like, if you see Gomez is going to take a majority of the set pieces. And like, I wouldn't even consider Suso at that point, outside of like a GPP stack. And then I would want to put like Gomez, Suso, and Enesiri together and play whoever's in goal. I think it's Bono at this point, is it? Yeah, I think it's Bono. And that's what I want to do, and just fade Dortmund. I think that's how you would attack Sevilla. So I think that's really your forwards. Bernardeschi, if he for some reason starts, has been awful. Looks disinterested. I was listening to like an Italy report, and he got a start recently, and like they were just talking about how he was just like almost like scared to take people on, just passing it backwards. So no thanks. Diaz may start, but I don't know how much possession Porto has. I think Porto is going to very much try to play on the counter versus Juve, and just hope that Juve gets a little bit too what's the right word? Too forward, and maybe they can attack the center backs. They don't. That's kind of what PSG actually controlled the game. Funny enough, but that was what I thought PSG might do versus Barcelona, and then just try to throw long balls at the top to Mbappe. They just had to give Mbappe the ball and let him destroy Dest and Piqué and Busquets. All these guys without legs. Should have thought more on that one. But yeah, I think that's forward. Midfield, Papu Gomez. This is Gomez. If you aren't sure, this is Gomez from Atalanta, who, Sevilla is not Atalanta, but Gomez is Gomez. He's going to cross the ball a ton, shoot the ball a ton, create chances at an elite level. Dortmund's just not been good. Like, Dortmund, to me, it used to be a team that you maybe didn't want to go up against. Like, they're letting goals out from everywhere versus bad teams. Let's just look real quick. So 2 goals versus Hoffenheim, who's not terrible, but not Champions League caliber. Freiburg, been good in the Bundesliga, but not Champions League level. They allowed 2 goals versus them. Versus Paderborn, barely won 3-2. Led a goal against Augsburg, 4 goals versus Gladbach, 4 goals versus Leverkusen. You get the point. There's the last clean sheet, January 3rd, 21, right? Dortmund's been allowing goals. There's probably going to be a goal here. Gomez, very good chance to be on part of it. The other midfield spot, this is where I think I kind of teased at the beginning of the show, but I think that the decision of the slate is actually, if you're going to play Sergio Oliveira, the Monopoly set piece taker, PK taker, really good defensive player as well. He kind of does a little bit of everything for Porto. I think you play him. I could very well see people going, look, Juve's still Juve. They have the name recognition. I don't really want to spend 6K on, a more defensive type of, for EPL people, maybe like a, João Moutinho from last year, like before Pedro Neto came on, like a João Moutinho. But, this slate, that floor, I think could be useful. And hell, they run into 1 PK. It's VAR days, right? So, and Oliveira's been great in the league. So I think you play him. That's going to be my take. I just don't see, like, if you don't play Oliveira, you're looking down here. Kuleveski, if he's playing on the right, then I'll take him. But I don't want to overpay for Joanne Jordan. Corona's okay, but 500 more. Corona doesn't take set pieces, so why wouldn't I just take Oliveira, McKinney for 5K? Been a good player. I feel like he's more better for real life than he is for DFS. Rakitic, I've actually heard some Spanish. I listen to a lot of like soccer pods to try to just stay on top of like just non-DFS stuff. And Rakitic has, been known as like one of their weaker links, which I was surprised by. I've always thought Rakitic is a good player, but you just go down here and there's nobody that just gonna jump out to you. Rabiot maybe is okay. Artur, if he was in, had taken some set piece on the weekend, but he's not in. Bentancur to me is very interesting. I think Bentancur is just a good player. But yeah, outside of that, I just don't think that there's anybody down here that gives you a lot of like wow. So Oliveira seems good. Let's go to defender. Cuadrado's out. Cuadrado would have been the easiest play on the slate. Guerrero, I just already expressed my hatred, and he's not taking set pieces anymore, so I'll pass on Guerrero. Navas, if he's in, be a great play, but I saw him as doubtful, so I doubt that. Alexandro, I think, is really interesting. Look, the way that Juve plays often is that either Cuadrado or Sandro actually gets to play like a semi wingback type of position, and Danilo, if you see him on the right, will actually be more of like a back 3 center back. So just be watching for that, because if so, Alexandro's a good player. Very attacking minded and gives you some defensive stat. Former, Chelsea target. I think it was like a Chelsea target for years, multiple seasons, never went. At 5,300, I think is very solid. Probably, in my opinion, the best defender of the slate. Then after him, though, it drops off dramatically. Esquerdo, like I feel like every time I ever play Esquerdo, he subs off early, but I guess he's okay at 4,400. Danilo, I would be careful with just because he's probably a center back. He's fine, I guess. Vidal maybe plays for Navas, but Vidal used to actually take sets in La Liga and be half decent. But like if you look through the games that he's played for Sevilla, he's just not been nearly like the same as Navas or even his old self. So I'd probably pass on Vidal, but 4,300 is fine. If it's like the last spot and I land on him, like sure, like fullback for a team that fullbacks are half decent. So let me take a shot, and then from there maybe just punt. Juve, Bonucci's out, so it's going to be 2 of De Ligt, Chiellini, or Demiral. Hey, maybe they get a clean sheet. You go from there. Goalie's goalie, guys. Today I thought it made sense. You played by the odds today, and you played Ter Stegen, and then Mbappe killed you. I still cash games, but I had way too much Ter Stegen and GPP. Play who you think does well. Play who makes sense in your lineup. I don't think I'm a big proponent that you plug in the cheapest goalkeeper and go from there. That's typically when you have a goalkeeper at like 3,800, and in the EPL you have 3,800 for the biggest dog keeper, and then the biggest favorite 6,000, right? Well, so here the biggest favorite is 5,300, and the biggest dog is 4,300. So you only have 1,000 difference. So I think you play the guy that makes the most sense. I think Chesney will be the chalk of the slate. But I really, with Dortmund struggling, I don't mind Bono at all, especially since you're likely, if you follow me, you're not going to have any Dortmund. So I think it makes sense, but that's goalie. Goalie, just play who fits. Play FSI subscribers are like this. Play who gets the most points, right? Easy game. Easy game. Just play the guy that gets the most points. So, you know, so often, I'm just gonna go on a quick tangent and be done. So often in soccer, like, especially like when new people come to FSI, like, first off, everybody new. Welcome. Thank you so much for trying this out. I hope that I don't annoy you too much with some of my answers. But, you know, a lot of times people give me like a 1v1. Like, I want to know Salah or Mane. The guy that scores. Like, unfortunately, unless there's something specific that sticks out to a guy, like, you know, maybe a matchup that's just phenomenal, which I don't really like to get too much into soccer matchups, but, you know, somebody has set pieces, or somebody has a significantly better floor because they just are so much active shooter, or, you know, they cross the ball ton of open play. But guys like Salah and Mane, they do very, very similar things. Salah has a little bit more upside probably because he's on PKs. But, you know, the reality is like whoever fits, you know, today they had like a $1,300 difference. So the answer was like, I think I got a Salah or Mane question. It's like, whichever one gives you the better build, because they both could end up scoring. They both did score. That's hard for me to do. But if you ask me, you know, I think here's a good one, Robertson versus Alba. I'll take Robertson because he has set pieces, right? So I have a little bit more floor to build off of. So that one's an easier question for me than, you know, like who's going to score the goal. Like if I knew who's going to score the goal, I would not lose. So, you know, that's just kind of soccer in a nutshell. I'm really looking forward to I definitely want to get some soccer DFS 101 stuff out there where I can try to explain like my strategy, my thinking more, if you guys would like that. So definitely trying to get that on the books to record that. So make sure you're looking out. You know how you'll know if you get that? If you subscribe. So I'm going to leave you on that. Bottom right, hit subscribe. So you not only get all the soccer content that we're putting out, but when the DFS Soccer 101 from me comes out, you will know about it. Thank you all so much for making it this far. If you're still watching, really do appreciate all the support. Once again, Keith, aka Gator Guy 231. See ya.